Hello friends. Things are moving very fast in this scenario of information and judicial warfare, and even I can barely keep up, even though I am used to live with pressure for obvious reasons of my trade. Opinion article. Picking up lawsuits at will. The all-out legal struggle continues. Legal tsunami for the president. Sidney Powell's massive demands. 30 indictments launched in Georgia. Things are about to become reality. Flynn's pardon was for mass arrests. Twitter censors the plot against the president. The commentary. Twitter closed Sidney Powell's account for 12 hours. Election findings could reverse the situation. A cybercrime expert can save the election. Voting machines are made to be manipulated. Germany alerts about American helicopters flying at night. President dismisses Henry Kissinger and Madeleine Albright from defense board. Let's start. Lawyer Sidney Powell, a woman at arms, has become a veritable monster of jurisprudence due to the number of lawsuits against the counting of votes that she is bringing, as we say here, in a great quantity or abundance. Powell tweeted about the elections. It was always a tsunami in favor of the president. The acting president stated this Friday that the Democratic candidate will only be able to assume the president of the country if he can prove that the millions of votes he obtained were not illegal or fraudulent, which is very difficult if not impossible. He also referred to massive electoral fraud in various cities around the country, such as Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. December 8th will be the deadline for settling electoral disputes in the states, including recounts and legal disputes in this respect. Subsequently, the members of the Electoral College will meet on December 14th to make the result official. To be proclaimed the winner, the candidate must obtain at least 270 electoral votes. A cybercrime expert, Dr. Navid Keshavarz-Nia, may be the one to save the election of the president. The New York Times published a brilliant report on this doctor in September and wrote the following. He is an experienced ethical hacker, big data architect, and expert on cloud security in cloud computing, blockchain technology, and big data analytics solutions. He has directed or supported several intelligence agencies, as well as corporate financial giants such as Deutsche Bank and Stripe. Legal battle. The legal struggle continues. Cesar Vidal's editorial on Thursday, November 27th, in his program La Voz, makes an interesting analysis and summary of the situation in which the legal battle of the president to demonstrate the deception in the past presidential elections is. Cesar Vidal reviews many of the frauds detected and explains the legal struggle of the team of lawyers who supported the president and the Republican Party. Rafa Pal reveals that the lawsuit in Michigan for election rigging claims that Serbia, Iran, Canada, and China collaborated in the fraud. And I think it's likely that there are more countries collaborating because this seems to be a global coalition. A shyster is a slang term for the bad, uniform, or under the label lawyer, someone who acts inadequately or does not act or pursue the lawsuit and therefore has a bad reputation. I prefer chopping vegetables to litigation. By extension, it calls the lawyer unethical or openly dishonest in the practice of law. It's synonymous with the same derogatory or pejorative stamp are legulayo, rabula, or lawyer of dry earth. But this is not the case of the Royal of Desert. But this is not the case of the efficient lawyer Sidney Powell. In every job there are different professional jargons, from law firms that are full of pica litigation and pencil pushers, to accounting firms with their paperwork and bookkeeping. Every profession has someone who is dedicated to finding the way back into the workforce to turn an ordinary day into something more entertaining. Accusations. 30 charges to invalidate Georgia's election results. A lawsuit filed by lawyers led by former federal prosecutor Sidney Powell made 30 allegations of election fraud and other illegal and irregular activities and particularities related to Georgia's 2020 general election. The allegations are based primarily on witness and expert testimony and relate to fraud and insecurities in mail ballots, irregularities and deficiencies in recounts, as well as security risks in the voting system machines used by the state. The first of the 30 points of the complaint alleged that the software used by the voting machine was accessed by agents of malicious actors such as China and Iran to monitor and manipulate the elections. The accusation is based on a classified statement by a former electronic intelligence analyst from the 305 military intelligence. Election findings could easily reverse 3 states. The former director of data and strategy for the president 2016 election campaign says he has found enough evidence to suggest that election results could easily tip in favor of the current president. I have no confidence that the Democratic candidate will be the deserved winner of this election according to our findings, Matt Brainerd said in a November 25th video. Voting machines are made to be manipulated. At a hearing in Pennsylvania about the elections, retired Army Colonel Phil Waldron said that the voting machines used in the United States were made to manipulate elections. Waldron claimed that up to 1.2 million votes could have been tampered with in Pennsylvania and that expert analysis would be needed to determine the exact number. Contracts or obstacles. Pennsylvania court rejects appeal. Lawyers appeal to Supreme Court. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Pennsylvania on Friday rejected the president's campaign appeal to the state's election results, a move that lawyers said would allow them to expedite their claims to the Supreme Court. Pennsylvania's activist legal machine continues to cover up allegations of massive fraud. We are grateful to have had the opportunity to present evidence and facts to the Pennsylvania state legislature, wrote the president's lawyer, Jenna Ellis, and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani in response. The president's legal team has asked the Pennsylvania State Senate not to certify the election results, which could open the way for the Republican Party to send its own supervisors to the Electoral College. Portland rioters caused thousands of dollars in damage on Thanksgiving night. Riots in Oregon's largest city of Thanksgiving Day cost thousands of dollars in damage, officials said. Witnesses saw a group of people dressed in black smash windows of Hawthorne Street in the early morning hours of November 26, according to the Portland Police Office. Curtis Bowers, an award-winning filmmaker and former state representative in the Idaho legislature, said in an interview with Jenny Chang to host NTD TV's Focus Talk that he believes there was massive election fraud and that we must stand up for the truth and fight for what is right. Bowers expressed optimism about the president's re-election in the interview, saying, "I feel that the truth could really come out, even if it seems like the game is up." Twitter censorship. Twitter suspends the account of the documentary The Plot Against President indefinitely. The official account of the film The Plot Against the President on the social networking platform, as well as the personal accounts of several team members, were also suspended by Twitter indefinitely and without reason, said the director of the documentary Amanda Milius in a statement. Twitter suspended Sidney Powell's account for 12 hours, but he recovered and now has 1 million followers. Twitter is desperately cleaning up all the links to Sidney Powell's lawsuit in Georgia and Michigan, which makes the statement in this week absolutely true. Twitter continues to ban all hyperlinks to the Georgia and Michigan lawsuits, and it actively protects foreign interference by China and Iran in the US elections. The president has already been dismantling the central banking system and failed before the plan for the fake rate set without precious metal backing, according to Bob Kudler. Military deployment. German radio has warned its compatriots that US Army helicopters will fly over their cities at night because of military exercises, according to Rafapal. This is the message. The US Army is starting an extensive helicopter landing training that lasts the whole month of December, mainly at night in precise places. People must stay at home. Clearer than water. General Michael Flynn is rumored to be in charge of this military deployment. He was framed and vilified by the Trump because he refused to betray his country and serve as Obama's puppet. Flynn is now a free man, and all efforts of the Trump to destroy him have failed. Flynn is now back in the game at the Department of Defense, working with Ezra Cohen-Watnick and Chris Miller, now Secretary of Defense, to deploy all available Defense Department resources to bring down the traitors to the state and defend the American Republic against its domestic enemies and also foreigners. It does not mean that Flynn will necessarily be put in an official position, although that is possible, but that he is now free to download everything he knows without fear of legal entanglements with existing prosecutions. And you can bet that Flynn is in the process of doing so right now, downloading a treasure trove of strategic secrets onto the decks of Chris Miller and even the president himself. An official statement by the White House press secretary on 25th November states that General Flynn should not demand a pardon because he is an innocent man. Even the FBI agents who interviewed General Flynn thought he was not lying. He adds that General Flynn was a victim of partisan government officials involved in a coordinated attempt to subvert the 2016 elections. Another surprise on Wednesday was that the president's administration suddenly dismissed two former secretaries of state, Madeleine Albright and Henry Kissinger, from the Defense Policy Board. Interesting, the old fox Henry Kissinger has taken a stand for the president lately because he saw them coming, but he is not to be trusted. 8. Revelations. While this pardon was underway, Before It News has conducted 2 interviews with extraordinarily well-connected sources. One is an engineer linked to DARPA who monitors military rendition flights to Guantanamo and other locations, and the other source is an intelligence analyst and psychological operations specialist with decades of experience in the federal government. They present several revelations what are very important to what is about to happen. Here are some of the highlights from those 2 interviews. First, it confirms that the National Security Agency has hard evidence about rogue actors and that the President's people are likely to take advantage of this evidence. Second, it confirms that the President can use the National Defense Authorization combined with the Executive Order of 12 September 2018 to declare national traitorous actors as enemy combatants. Third, it reveals that Obama is running a tactical operations center near the White House and is in command of shadow government forces at this time, which probably includes violent activist groups. Fourth, he says that the Defense Department and the patriots within the Defense Intelligence Agency have everything they need to defeat the swamp. Fifth, it confirms that the rendition flights are continuing at a very fast pace at the moment, which indicates that many potential traitors are being interrogated during the flights or in the black site services of those flights. 6. It says that the pattern of increased military traffic is mainly centered on East Coast. 7th, he anticipates that a major military event may be approaching as a large number of military cargo planes are moving around the country, apparently supplying military forces to be ready for action. 8th, it considers that hundreds of domestic traitors actors are being extracted, flown in and interrogated until they turned back. This would outline how the President's people are gathering all the information that matters enough to expose the entire crime syndicate. And that's for today. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, friends.